The chair now recognizes the gentleman from Florida, Mr. Clawson.
I want to assure Ms. Jackson-Lee that I like your state a lot. I like the border. And Mayor, thank you for coming. You have an incredible challenge on your hand, but you have a wonderful city and a wonderful area, and I know a little bit about it, and I'm glad you came today. Ports of entry are important to Florida in so many ways, so this is something that's important to my constituents. I understand a little bit about what y'all are talking about with respect to trade and life on the border. I have managed factories in the Nuevo Laredo, in Monterrey, in Chihuahua, Apodaca, El DF. I know a little bit about this area, and I've lived 100 miles south of the Laredo, Texas border myself. There's so much, it's not only a business and services question, of course, but it's also a humanitarian question, as so many people depend on that transport or traffic for their daily life, from education to what they buy to what they sell. And so what you all are doing, I guess I'm saying, first of all, is so important to our country and to our well-being, and not only in terms of security, which we hear so much about, but also I'm agreeing with you with respect to commerce. I've learned quite a bit today. I've probably been here less than you have, many of you. But I feel a little bit in the dark. In my background, I would say that I feel like I've come to a board meeting without a board book. And so I'm hearing management tell me that they would like to make capital expenditures and move their strategic plan along, and I do not have data that shows me how they have earned it. I am not doubting that you have earned it. And Mayor and the rest of you, when you speak anecdotally about some of the improvements and how you're getting more throughput through the border, I'm not doubting that at all. But if you want my support for more money, I need to know how you've earned the money in the past. And that's called fiduciary or constituent responsibility. So speaking for myself, it's hard to show up at a meeting with no data about previous projects, about future projects, and about what you've earned without capital expenditures, because all management is responsible for improvements that aren't capital expenditure related. I am not making the point that I'm saying that you're not doing that. What I am saying is that I need some professional summary data here so I can make my own assessment of it beyond anecdotes that I do not doubt, but I need more fulsome information to make a rational financial as well as humanitarian choice for these sorts of projects. So if I had, in my words, a strategic plan that was put in front of me with what your projects are, what the criteria are, and how you've earned it from your improvements of the past, it would help me make a decision. Because without that, I'm not sure I have a meaningful opinion other than to just listen to what you're saying and say it sounds good. So if any of you would like to respond to that, that would be great. But without more data, it's hard for me to say yay or nay or anything you're asking for, because I feel like you've left me in the dark.
I would like to respond to that, sir.
Yes, sir.
Congressman, one thing that the 560 program does, it gets the community of El Paso and the citizens of El Paso to invest in the P3, the private partnership. And we have committed $1.5 million to help fund officers and pay overtime to be able to expedite. One thing about the 560, we will not, our job is not to tell them how to do their job. Our job is to help them fund their officers to help us bring trade and open up those lanes for the city of El Paso and the whole United States. Really, our investment by our community and our citizens is really an investment in the United States, an investment in the workforce, not only in El Paso, but nationwide. So we have invested $1.5 million to add additional agents and pay for additional hours. In just a few, almost 5 months, we've from the citizens of El Paso paid a little over $400,000 and 3,500 hours that have been funded. And one thing we do ask also is the 559 program, which was referred to, that we allow us, based on our investment and our commitment, because we're landlocked in El Paso. We can't add additional lanes. We can't add any additional capacity, so we can help fund the officers. But we also would like not to have to reapply for the 559 program, but give us the ability to help fund some infrastructure again to make that, to be able to make it easier again on our community and our country. Thank you.
Right. I want to be supportive, but I need to know how your program fits into the overall strategic plan of the CPG. I think that would make sense for you guys, right?
Absolutely, and I think that there is the data that is there, and we're certainly happy to provide that to you, both from the facility standpoint, but also the workload staffing model that we use to justify the request for additional officers. I think there are also independent assessments that have been done that I think give you a lot of that sort of business case that you're looking for, and we'd be certainly happy to follow up with that.
I acknowledge much of that information may be there, and then since I've only been here a few days, I may not know where it is. But I would always say the way to manage your board of directors is to make it easy for them, and don't make it hard for them. And if you want to make it easy for me, bring me data that I can understand that shows you're doing your job, you're taking care of taxpayer dollars, you're defending taxpayer dollars, and when we give you a dollar, you're making great productivity out of that dollar. Make that case. Show me how the mayor's program fits into that, and you're much easier to have allies. But if I'm kind of lost in data up here, I'm sorry, I'm doing a lot of other things here, and you've got to help us out a little bit. And if you do, I'm all ears. I yield.
Thank the gentleman very much. And again, we certainly welcome you to the committee.